10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6.
Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Whack Whack Attack. Today is March 22nd, and we've got some clarifications and more news on what's happening on Atlas on Goerli. So let's start there. So first of all, Langer said the testnet upgrade proposal has succeeded and has been executed. Atlas is not live on the testnet. So on Monday's episode, I was talking about how Atlas is live on the testnet. That wasn't the case. It was just that the vote had been executed and succeeded by the testnet ODAO, and then it was just a matter of getting everything ready to go onto the onto Goerli. So Langers then said, we'll be performing the upgrade, and then it was yesterday. We're very excited to be rolling out Atlas. No, sorry, it was on the 20th of March, right at the end of the day. We're excited to be rolling out Atlas to the testnet for everyone to experience. And this is make sure you're running version 1.9.0, release candidate 1. And the beta testing is important and help us make Atlas awesome. So then we got this information saying Atlas is live on Goerli testnet. So we've noticed an issue with the new way that the smart node gathers information. We're looking into it, so bear with us. So then if we go to trading, then Joe gave us an update. He said, alright, so real quick, let's talk about Goerli so everyone's in the loop. Here's the deal. So he says, yesterday A35U pinged me asking why the bool to enable withdrawals was false for the Goerli update stuff. For context, this only matters for people who do not want to upgrade to the Atlas mini pool delegate and instead want to stay on the vanilla one and have the ODAO flag for their mini pools on a case-by-case basis. By having it set to false raised concerns that we don't intend to honor said case-by-case basis stuff. So I brought it up with the team in the team chat, and they proceeded to jam on it for a while. One of the reasons it was set to false and the ODAO responsibility removed entirely involves a finding in the audit reports, so I can't say too much until they made it public, but it's important to honor that promise of optional upgrades wherever possible, and Kane worked on a way to do that while satisfying said finding. And then Joe says, the reason Atlas isn't live on Goerli is because he wants to verify that change first. Once that's good, then he'll push it. And then Ramana said, is this going to be relevant? And there's a link. So let's have a look what he says there. He says you could withdraw your RPL while still having a live validator. So there's some issues around that, I think. So that is where the issue lies. So then we got some more information here from Langers about some other stuff that was going on. He says we tracked down the issue and found an obscure contract bug in the view function that the smart node uses when gathering information. This was not found on other testnets because it relates to pre-mainnet launch mini pools. I know, right? Long story short, the issue only presents itself on Goerli, and so this is why we have testnets. The issue doesn't present on mainnet. But we will deploy the same fix when we take Atlas to mainnet. Expect an ODAO proposal to patch the view function to get things back on track. Appreciate the patience. And then there was another update from Langer saying Atlas is properly live on the Goerli testnet now. The fix has been applied by the testnet ODAO. Have fun spinning up LEB8, so migrating from 16 ETH mini pools. Let us know if you have any feedback. And then there was another quick heads up. He says we have proposed to change the bond reduction starting time from 2 days to 12 hours on the Goerli testnet to facilitate faster testing. Testnet ODAO members, please cast your vote number 36 using Rocket Pool OOV in the CLI. Cheers, Rocket Pool. So there were some good updates about Atlas and the stuff that's going on Goerli with that. And then finally we had this update from Joe saying that the release candidate 2 will be coming out today. And then SNG says what's changed from RC1, release candidate 1, and then the patch notes here say rocket pool mini pools closed. Now checks to see if your feed distributor is initialized before allowing you to close mini pools. It reduced the batch size of effective network RPL stake, so basically you can run it properly. Added some safety checks to the metrics collectors to simply do nothing if the state generation fails. Improved usability and help text of the set use latest delegate, and then there's a whole bunch of other things as well, like the bond reduction now ignores finalized mini pools, gas estimates, borrowable ETH, the node status information, and node deposit will only show a warning about being unable to use your credit balance due to insufficient ETH in the deposit pool if you have a credit balance. So those are some of the changes that will be going into release candidate 2. I guess that will be version 1.9.0 still, but just release candidate 2. So yeah, that's really great that the team's working away on that stuff and we're getting good updates coming through. That's nice to see. So yesterday we had this Rocket Pool community call where Brian Mossoff, the CEO of Ether Capital, one of the earliest and largest public companies to participate in Ethereum's proof of stake system, came onto the Rocket Pool community call. Those of you who watched last week, I think, or maybe the week before, will remember that Ether Capital was one of the companies that has started a Rocket Pool mini pool, which is really exciting. So this call happened yesterday afternoon. I listened in on it, and we also had stakerocketpool.eth give a summary on Twitter saying how and why institutional investors are planning to come to Rocket Pool was introduced by Brian Mossoff yesterday. Already the summary notes here. And then there's a thread. It says institutional investors are considering becoming infrastructure providers through Rocket Pool. Today, ETH Capital has 45,000 ETH with 37,000 staked, 0 via Rocket Pool. That's actually not quite true. I think they have 1 or 2 mini pools. Once the unlock occurs, ETH Capital plans to stake 10,000 more ETH and to run nodes. Institutional investors are likely not going to hold LSD tokens due to the regulatory and accounting compliance issues today. Institutional investors can be node operators when Rocket Pool mini pools. Diversification of node operators in different countries and regions will likely be important ahead. ETH Capital has a free ETH staking dashboard that they'd like feedback on. Hopefully it helps some Stolo stakers. And then there's a link to a tweet with their dashboard that they have available that's free. And it says read the whole summary, highlights and the full call notes from the ETH Capital's call on Rocket Pool's community call here. So let's have a quick look because Stake Rocket Pool is doing some really cool work. So there's a really nice summary of the call right here, the call notes and different things that this nice. I like this. Brian in 2012 met a guy selling his house and his assets for Bitcoin. Yeah, that's nice. Should have bought RPL, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so there's really good notes here. I haven't read through all of them, but I know that the work that the Stake Rocket Pool people have been putting out has been really good. So definitely check that out. Next, we have this really cool thing from Patches, who spent the last few days working on trying to optimize the tree gen for version 5. So here he starts with this flame graph for version 4, another flame graph for version 5, and you can see some differences between that. It says counterintuitively JSON unmarshalling looks worse because it's more efficient, larger responses, quite a lot of GC overhead that can probably be ameliorated. Gross slice is surprisingly underrepresented considering how little pre-allocation goes on, but when I patched that I barely saw an improvement, so it makes sense. And then he's just giving lots of information here about all the different things he's seeing in tree intervals and tree generation and what's happening and when it's happening. And then he says that it just becomes a game of hammering the beacon node hard enough that CPU routine isn't constantly waiting for the IO routine to produce building the JSON. Can't be cheap for the beacon node either. I really wish they had SSC for the relevant endpoints and then there's a GitHub in case you don't get notified for this repo. And then Patches says, oh boy, I think I can make this fast. He says, I got rid of this wick, it's itty bitty now, just have to figure out why it doesn't work. Anyway, I have a plan for the mountain on the left. So people were joking with him. Then there were some trees, and Patches has fixed it. SSC bit lists are weird. So then he's kind of like going through a whole bunch of information here, and then you got new flame graphs which actually look like more level than the previous ones. And then he explains some of the changes he made about like some of the technical stuff, which you can of course go and read here in the tree generation thread. The link of course is in the video. And then Patches goes on and gives a lot more information, answers some questions about some of the work that he's doing. There's a whole lot of stuff here. So it ends up around, actually, let me just jump. Yeah, it ends up around here where Patches says that was fun. And then he says extrapolates to 17 minutes for an interval. That's version 5 plus my optimizations plus caching proxy. So Patches give a little summary. He says, I got tree gen version 5, the upcoming tree spec, down to about 20 minutes for the whole interval. For a few reasons, this won't all be upstreamed into Watchtower, but I spent a few days on this just seeing how fast I could get it without re-implementing it. It was a fun research project, and I think a few of the findings are good enough to be included in the official tree gen. Just wanted to share. I'm proud of the speeds. A few days worth of research went into this. Yeah, so this is, you know, a few days of Patches like working on tree gen version 5, trying to get it to be as fast and efficient as possible, and was able to get the times like way down. And the really cool thing is that some of the things that like he's implemented can be used in actual tree gen production, which will mean that when it comes to rewards night, everybody will find it easier to make the trees, and also they will be able to get rewards out to people faster. So thank you, Patches, for that really cool work. Okay, next we have this post from Ken. He says new gas costs tracking spreadsheet is work in progress. So then let's have a look what is here. So it's got the costs. I'm sorry if the left of the screen is a little bit cut off, but it's got the costs for like transactions for swapping ETH into RETH, and then the transactions for node operators, like initialization costs, mini pool initialization costs, and a whole like everything's kind of broken down by like node setup costs, and then per mini pool setup costs, manually mini pool delegate update, executing mini pools, LEB conversion, claiming rewards, miscellaneous stuff, per node operating costs, exit cost per mini pool, and exit cost per node. So there's a whole lot of breakdown here of all the different things, how much they gas, how much they cost, and how much they will cost at the price right now, which is 29 Goerli. So you can have a quick look at this and see how all that adds up and how it works out. And I think that's really cool for Ken. I think some people had comments about it, but you can definitely go and have a look. And people were just asking about, like, you know, where these numbers came from, and it came from Goerli post Atlas. And yeah, he says if anyone sees any errors or mistakes in there, please let Ken know, and he can update that information and get it fixed. We already saw that. So the next thing is here, Jasper shared this tweet. He says, if you want to hedge your do you want to hedge your RPL stake? Do you want to level long like a degen? This is a new opportunity to try just that. Remember, smart contracts are risky, and do your own research. So the tweet he links is this one from Silo Finance. Yeah, the tweet he links here is the one from Silo Finance. So it says they've, with RETH doing Silo doing numbers, we think it's time for the big dog of Rocket Pool to join the Silo club, bringing RPL Silo to our favorite degens. So 127,000 XAI liquidity is currently available to borrow, and then there's RPL, and then there's Silo. So the way Jasper explains this is you can use this to get information about longing RPL, shorting RPL, and I think all that kind of good stuff, and like levering it up. So here's the Silo website, and it's got information about total RPL deposited is about 3,600, and available to borrow is 3,600. Utilization is 0%, so nobody has used that feature yet. And then there's like, you can borrow their stablecoin XAI, and the deposit rate is 0.63%. The borrow APR is 1.77%. So definitely do your own research before interacting with this website or any websites like this. Of course, you know, the Euler hack is really fresh in our minds, so I want to make sure that that doesn't happen to anyone else, of course. So definitely, you know, before you take on these degen strategies, you should definitely do your own research first, because it's very risky. Okay, moving on, we got this update from Sleety yesterday. He says, hey guys, I just posted a monster animated tweet thread on Rocket Pool. Can anyone on Twitter give it a like and a retweet, please? And then there's a link to the tweet, and he says, smash that like button. So there's a link to a Twitter thread here by Token Motion. This is how Rocket Pool works, an animated thread. So there's a little like GIF of Rocket Pool logo kind of launching. And it says, first, let's look at staking on Ethereum in general. It says the Ethereum network is run by validators. You need 32 ETH to run a single validator and earn rewards for this staked ETH. This is called solo staking. And then there's like a nice little GIF of that showing like how staking, solo staking works. And it says validators require hardware and software to keep the network running effectively. This hardware software combo is called node, and the individuals responsible for running them are called node operators. Once node operator can run many 32 ETH validators. Rocket Pool is a decentralized staking protocol that pairs node operators with RETH token holders. The RETH token holders the RETH token allows holders to earn a share of ETH staking rewards without having to run their own hardware. And then there's like a nice little GIF of node operators and liquid staking token RETH coming together. And then it says, but for those who want to run hardware, only 16 ETH is required to run the Rocket Pool node. The 32 ETH validator is split into a 16 ETH owned by the node operator called a mini pool, and 16 ETH that belongs to RETH holders, liquid stakers. So this tweet thread has 16 tweets with animations, and it got like, it's just really beautiful work that kind of explains all about how Rocket Pool works, and all the work that goes into making it, and how it kind of comes together. And I think that's really amazing. And then finally, Sleety ends by saying, to keep up to date with everything Rocket Pool, I can recommend giving these accounts a follow. There's Jasper, Maso, me, Joe, Superfizz, and Next Block, and then the RPL intern. Not RP intern, sorry. Not RPL intern, that's right. So yeah, that's a really nice tweet thread there by Sleety. I think that will be a really good thing to share with like people who are starting to ask like elementary questions about Rocket Pool and trying to understand what it is. And the visuals really do a great job of putting it all together. So fantastic work, Sleety. Okay, next up we had this update from Maverick, who says, ETH Denver volunteers, I'm starting to send out POAPS via DM. Let me actually show you that POAP. Give me a second. I should have had it loaded already, but I was able to mint mine. So let's have a look what it looks like. You can see this. So let's go to my POAP gallery, and where is it? Here it is. So it says a Rocket Pool volunteer, ETH Denver 2023, and then you can see the POAP. Let me just view in the gallery. And yeah, here is the POAP. It says, I was a Rocket Pool volunteer, ETH Denver 2023, and then it's got the dates from February 24th to March 5th. And here says Rocket Pool's first ETH Denver sponsorship was a great success, in no small part thanks to the army of 50 plus volunteers from the community who helped with everything from booth setup, swag, distribution, answering questions, and running errands. Thanks for being part of this massive event. And then there's a link to the Rocket Pool Discord. So that was really nice. A whole bunch of community members now have been able to mint this POAP, which was fantastic. So thank you, Maverick, for getting that out there. I guess, check your DMs if you haven't gotten it yet. You'll probably be getting it soon. And finally, I put out a call for people to share the work that they've done over the last week. And the only one person this week was alias.eth, who shared their information. He says they worked on submitting a pull request to add Rocket Pool update CLI command to the smart node software to streamline the upgrade process. Hasn't been accepted merge yet, but I hope it could be. And then there's a link to the GitHub for that pull request. And Alias says it was a one-off job that they did, but may need to address any further feedback if there is any. And he says, did this last month, but work is work. So since Alias was the only person to submit any work that they did, I approved its submission for this week. But ideally, I'd like to see the work that was done in the last week for people to kind of like talk themselves up a little bit. And I know that's not everyone's preference and not everybody likes to do that. But I really feel like, when you're doing good work, it's nice to give it a shout out and get it featured in the episode as well, because it kind of helps each of us kind of help each other get motivated to do work. So I'm going to make this back into a weekly thing. Like today, I'm wearing my Rocket Pool shirt, so I'm representing today. But yeah, anyway, I hope you all have a lovely Wednesday, and I will see you all most likely on Friday, but there's a small chance I'll see you all tomorrow. So have a great day, and see you soon. Bye.